Learning how to use PHP to upload files to your server is extremely useful to learn, because once you learn how to do this, you can literally unlock endless potential for web development. You can create content management systems, social networks, and all different kinds of websites that are necessary to employ this kind of functionality. And of course, as I said, this will take your projects to the next level. Now, unfortunately, with file upload, you have to code it yourself. But it's actually a very simple and easy thing to do if you have the right person showing you and teaching you how to do it. And that's really what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you how to basically develop a very simple website layout. But the focus of the video is basically just going to be, we're going to create a simple form. And of course, we're going to write out the PHP that is going to process the files and upload them to a specific directory on your server. Now, we're not only going to cover uploading the file, I'm going to show you how to check to see if a file exists on your server with the same name. I'm going to show you how to set a file upload size, a file size limit. If you want to only allow users to upload files that are below 10 megabyte, for example, I'm going to show you how to code that. And of course, just check that users are actually uploading files and various things like that. But of course, I'm going to start from scratch, and I'm going to show you how to develop this from scratch. Just to give you a quick demonstration of what we're actually going to be developing, here on the left here I have the basic page in the script that we're developing, and this is the directory that we're actually going to be uploading the files to. So just to show you that it works, I'm simply going to click the browse option and select a file. Once I've browsed to the location of my file, I'll simply select it, click on upload, and sure enough, the file is available in the upload directory. Before I begin, I want to just create a very basic web page layout to contain my file upload form. Now, the reason I haven't done that yet is because, as I do with all my tutorials, I like to start from a position where I'm really working from a blank canvas. So all I've done is I've created a new file. Of course, it's a PHP file. And if I go into code view, you'll see I've just got my doc type, my head tags, and my body tags. There's no code that I've pre-written for this tutorial, so I'm going to completely just work from scratch. So the first thing we need to do before we can insert our HTML elements or even CSS is we need to sort out our margin, because right now the cursor is sort of in the middle of nowhere. And that's going to be an issue when it comes to inserting our div tags in our HTML elements. So the first thing we need to do is, after our opening head tag, I'm just going to create my style tags, and I'm immediately going to target the body of the page. And I'm just going to set a margin to 0, and I'm going to set, as I always do, padding to 0 also. So that's that, and as you can see, if I come back to design view, my cursor is now dead on the top left corner. That's very important, as I said, at this stage, where I'm now going to come between my body tags and insert my first div. Now, as always, I'm going to create a class. I'm just going to call this, we can call this, let's just call it our file upload form, or let's say holder. And my CSS for this is pretty simple. I'm just going to create a very basic, let's say, very basic 400 pixels by 400 pixels box. And I'm going to apply a margin, and I'm going to set this to about 60 pixels from the top. Also from the right, I'm just going to say 0 pixels from the bottom, and I'm going to set auto for the left. Now, as I do that, I come back to design view. Now, obviously I've written my class here, but it isn't taking effect on my div yet, and that's because I haven't applied the CSS to my div. So I'm going to apply the class to my div. If I come back to design view, you'll see it's taken effect. I actually think this is 400 pixels is too much for the height, so I'm going to set that to 200. And the other thing I'm going to do for my body is I'm just going to set a background color, and I'm going to set the background color to just a really light gray, and I'm going to set the background color of my div to white. Again, what I'll also do actually while I'm at it is I'm going to set a border 1 pixel solid and make it sort of a gray. Alright, now let's come back to design view and you can see what I've created. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to insert my form, and this is my file upload form. So within my div, I'm going to come up to my properties inspector. So within my div, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a form, and I'm just going to give this form an ID, and I can give it an ID in my properties inspector. I'm going to just say file upload form. And it's very important here. What we want to do is we want to actually post this form to itself. So again, in the action, I'm just going to post it to itself, so it's file upload.php. Now it's very important at this stage that you make sure that you set your method to post, not get. You want it to be post, and you have to make sure you select multi-part form data, as we're going to be handling digital files. Now that's about it for that. What we now need to do is we need to basically insert a file field, and I'm just going to call this upload file field. And beside that, I'm just going to insert a form button. So I'm just going to say upload button. And just to make it look a little prettier, I'm going to set the value here to upload. And again, in my class, if I return to it, I'm just going to set the padding, and I'm going to set padding to about 6 pixels. So it's looking a little bit neater. And I'm just going to come back and launch this in a web browser so you can see what we've created. Now right now you can actually submit the form. You've got a basic website layout, but the main problem here is that this is just a form. So you can select a file, you can upload, but nothing's going to happen. The page will basically just refresh. So to actually make this upload files to your server, we need to write some PHP. So I'm just going to collapse my properties inspector and come into code view. Now you cannot do this, there's no way of doing it within Dreamweaver. I'm afraid you have to write the code. But that's actually not that difficult to do, so I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now to do this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the if is set function, and we're going to be using the super global files to do that. Now it's very important here. What we're going to do is we're going to take the information from this file field here, and we gave it the name, if I just have a look, upload file field, and we're going to insert that here. So what we do now is we close that off, and the first thing that we need to do is we need to create some basic variables, and this is going to be used to actually upload the file. But we're going to be taking this information from the super global files, and basically we're going to be inserting the information we obtain from PHP, and we're going to be inserting it into these variables that we create. So let's get started. The first one we need is image name, or should I say upload name. Let's call it upload name, and this is going to be equal to, and again we need to say files. Again, paste out the ID we gave to the file fields, and what we need to do here is insert the name that PHP gives the information obtained from the superglobals file. So in this case it is name, and end that with a semicolon, and that will create our first variable. Now the next variable that we need to create is going to be called upload temp. And this is basically the temporary name, and again we're going to insert the information from the super global. So I'm just going to copy this part of the code out to save a little bit of time. It's basically everything from the $sign to the closing square bracket. And here all we need to do is basically temp tmp underscore name. Close off the square bracket, semicolon. And the next and the final variable we need to create at this stage is going to be the upload type. And we're going to equal that to, and again paste that out. As you can see, it saves a lot of time. And the name PHP gives this is simply type. So that's all you need to do there. Now that's actually all you need to do at that stage. Now the next thing that we need to do is what happens now is, at the moment we've just created the variables that we need to handle the basic file upload. But when you actually upload the file, the files that are being uploaded may contain certain things in the name that we don't want, such as spaces. So we need to remove that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to the variable that we've created, which is called upload name. This is case sensitive, so make sure you're doing that, you're writing that out correctly. And what we're going to be using is preg replace. And when we do that, we're going to be inserting 3 arguments, and the first 2 arguments are going to be wrapped in quotation marks, and the third isn't. And basically what we're going to do here is we're going to insert 2 pound signs, opening and closing square brackets, and in here we're going to look for everything between A and Z and everything between 0 and 9. Now after the first opening square bracket, we're going to enter a upward arrow which is just above 6, and that's going to look for everything that is not between A and Z. And also we're going to enter a full stop, a period, and that will basically look at everything before and after the file extension. So the next thing we need to do here is just after the ending or closing pound sign, we're going to enter I, and that's basically going to check for everything. It's going to deal with it being case sensitive. Now everything that it picks up as being incorrect is going to replace with what's between these brackets, and we're not going to put anything here, so it's not going to replace it with anything. And then what we're going to basically do is we're just going to insert the variable we've created, which is upload name. And that's all we need to do there. That is pretty much it. We're now ready to actually handle the file. So we're going to use another if statement. And all we need to do here is we need to check first that a file has actually been selected to upload. To do that, all we'll do is enter an exclamation mark, and then we'll list the upload temp variable that we created. And basically, if the file hasn't been selected, we're just going to echo or die. And we can echo out a message basically here, and we can just say no file selected, please upload again. And here we'll just say else, and this is where we actually upload the file, and we're going to be using move uploaded file. And here we're going to do is again the upload temp variable we created, and here is where we list the directory. So we are going to upload this to upload, and then we're going to list the upload name variable that we created. And once we're happy with that, we can close that off, and we can close off the entire statement. Okay, so we're now ready to actually test the script. that we've written. So what I've done is I've opened up the upload directory where I'm uploading the files, and on this side this is obviously Dreamweaver. So let's launch this in our browser, select a file. Once we've selected a file, I'm just going to click on upload, and you can see it hasn't returned any errors, and we can come over to our directory, and what you'll see is the file has been uploaded successfully. Now what happens if I actually upload the same file twice? And upload, and you'll see that at the moment it's either rewriting or it's not uploading. I think it's just overwriting the file. So how do we actually correct that? Well, the easiest way to fix that is adding an extra variable, basically step at this stage. So just after we define the name variable, I'm going to create another one, and again we're going to refer to the, we're going to call basically the upload name variable here that we've already created. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to say empty underscore rand, and we're going to say 1 1 2 3 4 5 comma 9 1 2 3 4 5, and we're going to close that off, and then we're going to use this adjacent character, and we're going to add on the variable upload name semicolon. And what that's going to do is basically, we're at this stage we're calling the superglobal files and the information from the upload field and the file that the user's uploaded. We're creating a variable called upload name. We're getting hold of the information with PHP and specifically the name of the file, and that's being inserted into the upload variable. We're then capturing that same variable, generating a random string, and then we're putting that before the file name that's already been uploaded. So every time you upload that file, it will have a different name and will be successfully uploaded. So let's come back to our browser. Once I've selected the file, I'll just click on upload. Again, there's no errors. If I come here, you'll see what we've done is we've uploaded the same file. We've just generated a random series of numbers and letters and basically added that before the file name. So you can upload the same file more than once. Or if two users come along, 1 in 1,000 users, let's say, and they upload a file with exactly the same name, then both files will be uploaded to your server and exist separately successfully. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to check the file size. Now, there's a few things to understand when we actually do this. The first thing is that just in general, when it comes to uploading files, an upload script like this, what we've done so far is we've created an upload script. You can upload potentially anything using this script. It could be 1 megabyte, it could be 1 gig. It really doesn't matter. This script is capable of uploading a file. That's all it does. It just uploads the file to your server to the specified directory that you define within the script. The thing is that when it comes to an issue with uploading a file in terms of file size, this is controlled by your remote server, specifically in a PHP ini file, ini, file that exists on your server. Now, depending on your host, perhaps how professional a host you have, especially if you have a host that uses cPanel, you will be able to modify that ini file. However, some hosts may not allow you to do so, and that may be to do with the fact that you're on a shared server or various things like that. But this PHP ini file contains a max file upload size, basically a max file size limit. That determines the maximum file size you can upload to your server. So if you want to upload images, documents, files, etc., then don't worry. You should be fine. If you're developing an upload script to upload something larger like videos, they may be closer to, let's say, a gig or more than a gig, then you may need to adjust your server's configuration via the ini file to allow you to upload these video files to your server. And in that case, if you don't know how to do that, then simply contact your host and have them support you on that issue. However, you may want to develop an upload script, and you may want to set a particular file upload limit. And this could be 2 megabytes, it could be 10 megabytes. It's really up to you. I'm just going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to create a final variable. Okay, so again, we're going to say $, and we're going to call this one file size. And this is going to equal, and again, I'm going to copy out this code just to save us time. So again, let's just paste that, and I'm copying everything from the $ all the way to the closing square bracket. And again, referred to it in PHP, we just need to say size, semicolon. Now that will create the variable for file size. Again, referencing the super global files, the file upload field. This is going to capture the file size of the file that's being uploaded by the user in this particular session. So what we now need to do is we need to, before this if statement where we're actually potentially going to upload the file to our server, we need to run it through a check just before we get to that stage. So before that if statement, I'm going to create an additional if statement. And this if statement, all we have to write here is we need to call the variable file size, and if it is greater. Now this is where it gets a little bit confusing, because when you do upload these scripts, you're going to be working with kilobytes. Okay, this is very different to what we're used to dealing with with digital storage. When it comes to our upload scripts, we're used to referring to it as you can upload files up to 10 megabytes. You can upload files up to 1 gig. But when you're working with PHP, you have to use kilobytes. It's just the way it is. And I happen to know that, well, I'll be honest, I've gone on the internet, found a converter, and I know this, I can't remember actually, I think I did 1 megabyte, I converted, it came out as this. So all I'm going to say is go on the internet, go onto Google, find a converter and find out, what is 10 megabyte or whatever megabyte you want to allow users to upload. Find a converter and convert that into kilobytes and put that in here. Once you're happy with that, close off the statement. And what you want to do is basically just to explain, if the file size of the file being uploaded is greater than the specified maximum, the limit, then what you want to do is you want to die. You want to kill the script, stop it running at this stage before it gets here and potentially uploads the file. Echo out a statement, and you can say anything you want. I'm just going to say error, file too big. And then all we'll do here is we'll close off the statement, and let's bring this up here a bit, and we can save it, and that's all you need to do. So let's just get rid of the unnecessary spaces, and that's all you need to do. So what we have done, just to explain, we're using the if_is_set function referring to the super global files and the file upload field. We're grabbing hold of that information within PHP, such as the file name, the temp name, the type, the file size. We're generating a random string before the actual file name so that we don't have issues on our server with duplicate files. We're removing the unwanted spaces and characters from the file name using preg replace. We're checking the file size, and we're setting a file upload limit so we don't get issues with our server when it comes to file storage and things like that. If the file is too big to upload to our server because it exceeds the maximum allowed limit, then the script is told to die, and it basically cuts off, it ends here. If it is below the specified limit, it skips this, doesn't see it, and it checks the next thing, which is just that there is an actual file that's been selected and is uploaded. If there is no file, it dies. No file selected, please try again. There's an error message. If there is a file selected, then of course it skips that stage, and we use the move uploaded file function to actually upload the file to the specified location on our server with the file name that we've created here and here. And that's all we need to do. And of course here we just have a basic form. We have two fields. We have a file fields, and we have a submit button, and that's it. It's very, very simple. And let's just come here, and again, let me upload a file, and I'm going to click on upload, and you can see it's uploaded the file to my server. Thank you very much for following along with this video tutorial. Now, before we conclude, I'd just like to cover a few things, because apart from following along with this video tutorial, you can also come to our official social network, our web developer social network, simpletut.com, navigate to our freebies section, and actually download a copy of the script for yourself. And again, this is completely free. Alternatively, we have created an official post on our blog, and again, there'll be a link in the description to both of these web pages. And basically on this page, we've gone through the code step by step, explained it, and if you are trying to learn how to do this yourself and apply this to your own projects, you may be more better off coding it yourself and going through via the blog. Apart from the file upload system, of course, we have a range of tutorials from building user registration systems, content management systems, CSS menus, responsive website layouts, and comment systems, and much, much more, in addition to other PHP classes. In addition, if you have any questions about this or any other tutorial, then we have a Ask a Question area on our website, and if you post your question, we'd be more than happy to get back to you and help you with some support. Including, other than the file upload system, we have various other freebies, and we are releasing more on a regular basis. So we have a free user registration system, CSS menus, a content locker, and various other things. And of course, we have our blog and more. In addition, I'd just like to take this opportunity to encourage you to visit our website and visit our Facebook page. And again, there'll be a link in the description of the video. Your support enables us to continue to grow, create more tutorials, more freebies. And of course, if you would like to make any suggestions for future tutorials, then please contact us via SimpleTut and our official Facebook page, and we'd be more than happy. We've recently reached a milestone of 500 Facebook likes, but we are still only touching the surface of what we want to achieve. I'd also like to take this opportunity to encourage you to visit our official website, siteeasy.com. Here we offer a range of products and services, including pre-built PHP applications. These include user registration, site search, digital goods for PayPal, comment systems, and much more. We also offer complete pre-built websites, including e-commerce, social networking, content management, file upload, property listings, and much more. In addition, we offer support to all of our customers, and you can access our support at any time, presently or in the future.